Hello, and welcome to Development Purgatory.
This is the podcast all about the movies that were never made, the scripts that were never written, and the ideas that never even made it to the page. My name is Daniel Kaka.
And I'm Lexcee Riley.
We are going over another superhero.
Superhero fatigue.
We do a lot of superheroes here, but I think this one's a pretty good one.
Isn't it crazy that we are in superhero fatigue, yet there are so many superhero movies that didn't get made?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, but it is around that time where studios were trying to figure out superheroes and just kind of throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks, seeing what happens, and eventually the perfect superhero was made. We all know that that is Blade 2.
I want to throw a wet paper towel here. I stopped listening after. And then you said Blade 2, and I went, I'm still going to make my joke.
Yeah, we are going over another superhero. This one you may have heard of. He is from the DC universe. Have you ever heard
Deep cut.
Have you ever heard of the superhero Plastic Man?
Nope.
Do you know anything about Plastic Man?
Nada.
What he looks like?
In my head, he's like Mr. Fantastic, but like...
In a way, yes, he is.
Oh, so this is the flip.
So you have no history with Plastic Man. There's a comic book store that's right next to us. This is kind of a sad story because the bench outside of their place was stolen, but their bench was painted.
To look like Plastic Man?
Yeah, to look like Plastic Man. But it was a very funny joke because if you know Plastic Man's ability, he can kind of morph and make himself into
A bench?
any shape and object that is necessary for whatever that moment calls for.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
No,
Mr.
it's plastic.
It's fantastic to be plastic, which will come up later. You'll
the
see.
team up you never knew you needed.
But as for me with Plastic Man, how I've known about him, he has appeared in a lot of different like DC movies, like animated movies.
I was like, I've never seen him in a movie, although I guess I'm not a DC kid, so.
Yeah, so DC, what they'll do is they make a lot of animated movies, like kind of direct to video or like direct to streaming ones. And they did one recently. It was Injustice that came out in 2021.
The video game.
Kind of based on that, yeah. So they kind of go hand in hand with each other. But
That is the name of the video game, right?
yes, it is. And Plastic Man is just part of the Justice League.
How will you punish people when they break whatever rules Superman comes up with? I mean, I was a criminal. I needed second, third, and fourth chances before turning my life around, so what's the deal there?
If you watch any of the Batman Brave and the Bold series, he makes appearances here and there.
When you said Justice League, it just made me think of New Superman and like how he's sort of picking deeper cuts of comics to, I mean, I guess technically it's the Justice Gang now, but like, I mean, maybe we'll find out in this episode, but I'm like, it feels like there's a good segue for Mr. Benchman.
And in fact, like you mentioning that is literally the last paragraph of my notes. So we're going to tie it all together. We're going to see how...
See? I didn't need to watch anything about it. I get it real quick.
Yeah. James Gunn, I believe that he's going to do it, how he's going to do it. But the way that it was approached, I mean, you'll see what it is. But we are going to go into Plastic Man, kind of his history of how he came to be. But before we do so, we're going to go into the history of these advertisements. And welcome back.
It was like, we're waiting for the ad to play. And I was like, no.
No, we make our own ads. All right, let's get into Plastic Man. Because I like doing this question. How old
Oh, God.
do you think Plastic Man is? When do you think he's
This is
about?
always a trap.
I love it. I love this question.
Always a trap. Ugh, God. Can I have a hint?
He came about around the same time that Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman
Of course.
were first published.
I know that we've talked about when Superman and Batman came out, and you would hope at this point, because we've talked about it a few times, I would have locked it away, but I haven't. Or if it is, it's deep in there. So like late 60s?
No. So Plastic Man, he first
It's
appeared.
a trap.
He first appeared in Police Comics in August 1941.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah, he old. He real old. He would have been fighting in World War II.
Captain America.
Yep. Older than Captain America.
You know, there is a pocket of my brain somewhere that has all of these facts stored away because every time I'm like, that is brand new information. And I like it. But like, I wish I could dig it up at like a party to be like, did you know?
So he appeared in Police Comics from issue number 1, but this wasn't under DC Comics or what DC Comics was.
When you say Police Comics, was there a superhero police team or did we make comics for the police?
So the run of comics was actually called Police Comics. It's kind of like whenever you have a superhero, the run of the superhero issues is always the name of that superhero, or like Justice League of America, it's always like JLA or Justice League of America or the Avengers.
That's what that stands for.
So this is essentially what it is. It's Police Comics, but it was under the publisher Quality Comics.
I feel like they didn't last long.
You'll see. Now, this character was one of many that was introduced. So they're basically like throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. So on top of Plastic Man, we also had Phantom Lady.
Oh.
We had the Human Bomb. We have Firebrand and Mouthpiece.
No. Just hard no.
Phantom Lady, though.
Right. I mean, I guess at least there's one lady and at least she's not the most ridiculous of the bunch.
No, she isn't. So Plastic Man, he was created by Jack Cole. Cole, in his earlier career, he worked for Harry A. Chesler's studio, which was part of Centaur Publications back in 1936. The company was simply providing artists to illustrate for stories, and essentially like whenever any published stories came their way, they brought in artists to like draw out illustrations, or if it was like a comic book, they would be the ones who were in charge of putting that all together. So for Cole's first assignment, he was actually asked to illustrate a few comics. One was TNT Todd.
TNT?
TNT, as in dynamite.
Bomb Man.
TNT Todd and the FBI and Little Dynamite. Bit of a theme here.
So Bomb Man had a baby?
Essentially.
With
the
Phantom
FBI.
Lady?
Yes. In 1939, he joined Lev Gleason's Publications to be an artist and editor for Silver Streak Comics. There, he assisted Will Eisner in his comic The Spirit. Later in his career, he would be an artist for Playboy. He would draw comic strips in every issue from 1954 to 1958, which is when he died.
So he worked up until death?
He created the comic strip Betsy and Me. Jack Cole was later inducted in the Jack Kirby Hall of Fame in 1991 and the Will Eisner Award Hall of Fame in 1999. Cole, he created and illustrated various characters, but Plastic Man is his biggest hit.
You mean Bomb Man didn't go off well?
I wish.
There is a universe where Bomb Man was the thing. Yeah. Or Mouthpiece. I don't even want
Mouthpiece.
to know.
Cole created and illustrated various characters, but Plastic Man was his biggest hit. He first appeared in the run of Police Comics, but Plastic Man, he gained so much popularity that he actually took over as the main character by issue 5.
God, the 40s were a wild time.
And then he continued on until issue 102.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like 97 issues after that, he was like the main character. But Plastic Man, he actually got his own series starting in 1944 with a 64-issue run.
Damn.
Yeah, and then Quality Comics would continue until 1956 when Quality was then acquired by DC Comics, which is why Plastic Man is a DC superhero. So he didn't start off at DC, he was bought by DC.
He started with QC.
Yes. So, who is Plastic Man? What is his origin? And what is his powers? Now, Plastic Man's alter ego is Patrick Eel O'Brien.
Thought you were going to be like, his name is Schmeed Schmitchards. Oh, wait. Okay. While we're on this joke, though, Fantastic Four came out in the 60s, right?
Correct.
Schmeed Schmitchards is a ripoff of Plastic Man.
In a
Not
way.
a ripoff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they always have their, like, counterpart?
Yeah, there's a few characters who, like, have stretchy arms.
Kamala Khan.
Yeah. So it isn't a power that's like unusual. It's kind of like the power of invisibility.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just like, who's the first stretchy man?
The first stretchy man, I might say who it is, but I could be wrong because there might be someone who appeared like years earlier. We'll find out.
Wait, so does Plastic Man stretch or does Plastic Man just form into a shape?
He stretches and forms.
Okay.
Similar to Gambit, he was orphaned at the age of 10, fell into a life of crime in the streets of Chicago, where he became a safecracker for a burglary ring during a heist at the Crawford Chemistry Works.
The Louvre.
His team was caught and they fled. Unfortunately, Patrick got shot in the shoulder and a drum of unidentified acid spilled on him and seeped into his wound.
What an origin story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah, you got to get the chemicals in him somehow. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of other things. Like, you have the Joker, you have Daredevil. It's like kind of putting those two together.
Did Daredevil get shot and that's how he has...
He gets acid in his eyes, according to the Ben Affleck movie. As he is trying to escape, he sees his team drives off without him, and they just leave him behind.
Rude.
Yeah. He continues to flee on foot, but he eventually passes out in the foothills of a mountain just outside of the city. The next morning, he wakes up to find that he is being tended to by a monk at a monastery. The monk has found him, helped him out, and he has a sense that there is much good in this man. When the police track down Patrick to the monastery, the monk has then turned them away. Through this act of kindness and the team members leaving him behind, Patrick turns his life around and he leaves this life of crime. While at the monastery, Patrick then discovers his new abilities. He could bend and stretch his body into any shape that he desired. He promises to use his new abilities to fight crime and evil, although this is after he went back to the criminals that he associated with and asked for his cut. He then donned...
By the way,
before turning to a life away from crime, he just did a little crime before getting back out.
I just need a little bit of cheddar to make it through my good life.
He donned a red, black, and yellow rubber suit with wraparound goggles to hide his identity, which is kind of strange if he can like morph into like any shape. Like you would think that he could just like change his face, but no. Gonna put goggles on to hide his identity.
Okay.
His outfit has pretty much stayed the same with various degrees of like how much he shows his legs throughout the years.
Yeah, so you get a little
Actually, let's look up some images of Plastic Man. So you can see like there's Plastic Man with like the short shorts, and sometimes it's just like a Speedo.
Okay, I need men to be dressing in this costume.
Yeah.
Hello, legs. He's got like some like 60s short shorts going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very like form-fitting. Depending on who the artist is, it'll be like long pants or like right up to the top.
Fascinating. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
None of them appropriate.
No. Plastic Man down the line would acquire a comic relief sidekick known as Woozy Winks.
Come again?
Yeah, Woozy Winks.
Plastic Man is so descriptive of what this character does. Uh-huh. There's not enough money in the world for me to be able to be like, this is what Woozy Winks does.
Well, his power is to actually enchant nature to protect him. He's able to manipulate nature. Although that power was then tossed aside so that he would just become this bumbling, loyal friend.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then throughout the run of Quality Comics, he was part of the police force and the FBI.
Woozy was?
No, Plastic Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Officer Winks is kind of great.
I'm sure Woozy was there in the background this entire time. But the concept of a shape-shifting and bending character is no foreign concept to comic books. There was Flexo the Rubber Man and the Thin Man, both created before Plastic Comics.
There we go. That answers my question.
Yeah, they were both created before Plastic Man in Mystic Comics and would later be attained by Marvel. But the most famous stretchy man that's out there is, obviously, we talked about him before, Mr. Fantastic, who was created in 1961, 20 years later after Plastic Man. When DC Comics obtained Quality Comics in 1956, they stopped making issues of Plastic Man, despite it being the face of the publication. Instead, they continued with Blackhawk, Robin Hood, Heartthrobs, and G.I. Combat.
Heartthrobs.
Heartthrobs. Any knowledge of his existence was just put to the wayside. He could have made an appearance in the Flash issue 112, which was published in May 1961, but instead they got Ralph Dibny as the Elongated Man, who had pretty much the same powers as Plastic Man.
So not fair. I mean, I realize Plastic Man is in the league too. I'm not dissing the guy's skills, but come on.
Now, the DC editor at the time, who was Julius Schwartz, he admitted later that had he known Plastic Man existed, he probably would have used him instead.
How did you not know he existed if he was so popular?
I mean, it's not like they can just Google it or anything like that. Like, you have hundreds of characters that you're trying to do.
Yeah, but I'm like, I guess if your company just took over, I'm thinking about like business and marketing of like what we have today. And you're right. Like, if you there'd be a index card Rolodex of characters.
Yeah, you are just like going through all these characters and you're just like,
who's bendy like a pretzel? Which one pops up first?
And oftentimes, like, whenever you're creating a new character, you kind of create them as a side character first, see how people like them.
Right.
If you get rid of them and people are just like, hey, we really want that character, can you bring him back? Then you realize that, oh, you have something there. Right. Whereas for the most part, you're just kind of like creating characters left and right. And you're just like, we need a character who's like bendy and stretchy. And Elongated Man has kind of like, I don't have it in my notes, but like he has continued as well. And there are some comics and even TV shows where they cross paths with each other.
Well, if it isn't Plastic Man and
Elongated Man. You know, the ductile detective.
Never heard of you.
It's so weird that that's like a fascination that there are like multiples.
Yeah. The first appearance of Plastic Man in DC Comics was actually in July 1966 with Dial H for Hero. Now, it's not the official character, though. In this, the premise of the comic is that the main character, Robbie Reed, he has a magical dial. Kind of think of it like a rotary phone. And when he dials the word hero, he transforms into a random hero to help him fight crime for whatever
that's cool.
That may be. And in this issue, he just happened to turn into Plastic Man.
He is for Plastic Man.
Yeah. So they actually took that character, the exact character, Plastic Man. He transformed into Plastic Man, and then he fought. Plastic Man would get a reboot in 1966 in Plastic Man Volume 2, Issue 1, in which the character was a bit wackier. They did away with his... with
How do you get wackier than Woozy Winks?
Well, they did away with Woozy Winks.
No, I know, but I'm like, if that was your original cohort, like, where do you go?
Plastic Man, if you are unaware of like how he acts, he is very much like Deadpool.
Oh.
Yeah. He's kind of a very similar character. He's kind of like one who makes all the quips, always trying to, like, if ever there's a serious situation, he's the one who's going to, like, crack a joke to, like, break the ice.
Just broke everything I was thinking.
This would be easier to put together. Let me see. Anywhere but a friggin' battle.
Yeah, he's not truly a serious character. He's, like, very...
I didn't think he was necessarily serious, but with, like, a name like Plastic Man and a cohort of Woozy Winks, I thought he was like, hi, I'm Plastic Man. I didn't think he could be played by Ryan Reynolds, so.
No, but kind of knowing the character now, had we not seen him as Deadpool, he could definitely work as Plastic Man. Okay, so they did away with Woozy Winks. He did get a few other side characters. There was Gordon K. Trueblood. He was a pet store owner. And then there was the police officer, Captain McSniffy.
God, they were different times.
Yeah. For him, he always believed that, like, Plastic Man was always a criminal. He was always suspicious that he was a criminal. He's like, there's no way that this guy is a good guy.
I don't believe that monk for a second.
Yeah, exactly. In issue 7, there was a major twist in the story when it's revealed that the Plastic Man that we've been following was actually the son of the Plastic Man from Quality Comics.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. So we didn't even get the first appearance of Patrick Eel O'Brien in DC Comics until November 1967.
What's his son's name?
His son's name is... I don't know.
Like, who were we seeing then if we weren't seeing him?
Yeah, he just went by Eels O'Brien. Yeah, when it first came out, so we just kind of assumed that it was him. But later on, he just went by Junior after that. So Eels O'Brien Jr. So that was just a way to, like, not give anything away. Because if you change his name, you would be like, oh, this guy's different.
Right.
This guy's not the Plastic Man I grew up with. There was 3 more issues of Plastic Man that were published after that, giving him a 10-issue run. Plastic Man does have a crossover in The Brave and the Bold, number 76. This was in 1968, where he teamed up with Batman to defeat the Molder. Now, he was a villain who...
Molinators.
Yeah. Now, he's a villain who uses plastic-based weapons and gadgets.
The Molinator? No,
The
sorry.
Molder.
Do you know what the Molinator's from?
Is that The Incredibles?
No. It's
Oh.
from Santa Claus.
Wait, really?
Yeah, in the second one. I'm the Molinator. It's the Tooth Fairy. He wants a cooler name.
Oh. I did not pay attention to those movies as closely. So, the Molder, he made plastic-based weapons and gadgets. What's notable about this...
Molder.
The Molder.
Mould.
The Molder.
Not MOLD.
No.
Very different.
The
Now, do
Molder.
you see why I was
Yep.
confused?
Now, what's notable about this story is that Plastic Man is like broken up into many pieces, but Batman can actually simply put him back together as if he was like clay
With their love?
and with friendship.
60s, we weren't going to make a comment like that. Wait, so in Plastic Man, I find this character really fascinating because with me, when you think about Reed Richards,
Yeah.
in my head, he's like silly putty, like he's goo, right?
Yeah,
But
essentially.
when you say Plastic Man, I think like Tupperware.
Yeah, it's not as malleable.
Yeah, so I'm like, he actually can be broken.
Yeah, he can be broken, but also just like
Clicked
put
back together.
Yeah. So Plastic Man's Volume 2 stopped at issue 10 in June of 1968 and wouldn't get picked up for 10 more issues until March 1976, so about 8 years later. Between that time, he did make a few appearances. There was the Justice League of America, issue 107, that came out in October 1973. In it, the Justice League from Earth 2, they team up with the Freedom Fighters from Earth X. The Freedom Fighters consist of Black Condor, Dollman, Human Bomb, he makes an appearance again, Phantom Lady, she's back, Ray, and Uncle Sam. These are all characters from Quality Comics.
I need to look up Quality Comics Human Bomb.
In the comic, it is revealed that Plastic Man was with them, but he had died. Or at least this would have been the Plastic Man that was on Earth 2 and the Earth X variant. Plastic Man would make another Brave and the Bold appearance in issue 97 when he teams with Batman again.
Oh yeah, the Cape Crusader prefers to work with moi.
In issue 11 of Plastic Man Volume 2,
Oh, Phantom Lady is fascinating looking. That's going to be my next Halloween costume. Like, I'm just going off like original, like yellow, like bathing suit kind of thing with green.
yeah, it kind of looks like what Catwoman's costume used to look like when she had a cape.
And then she gets like va-va-voomed.
Oh.
And then we go to the future and she has long clothes.
All right. So Plastic Man would make another appearance in The Brave and the Bold, issue 95, where he teams with Batman again. For issue 11 of Plastic Man Volume 2, this would be a continuation of that character that we saw in Brave and the Bold, and that was considered to be from Earth 1. So issue 10 is from Earth 12, issue 11 is from Earth 1, but both of the continuations are in Volume 2. And then from issue 11 on Plastic Man, we get his old sidekick back, Woozy Winks.
Good old Woozy.
Plastic Man would periodically appear in other comics, and his Volume 2 one would be discontinued in 1977. Now, if you think this is all confusing, don't worry. The editors, the authors, and everyone at like DC, they thought it was confusing as well. This is when they were just like, we want a new start of a superhero, but we already have that superhero who's in circulation, so we're going to put it on Earth 5 or Earth 6 or Earth 7 or Earth 8.
Yeah, because that clears it up.
Yep. Moving away from the comics, we are going to go into his appearance in television.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, Plastic Man, he almost got a show that was produced by Filmation. If you don't know Filmation, they did a bunch of DC animated series. Back in the 60s, there was The New Adventures of Superman, there was Aquaman, there was Batman with Robin, The Boy Wonder. The show was developed in 1967, but then was canceled before it began. But in 1979, Plastic Man had his own animated TV show as the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show.
From under the pages of DC Comics comes the world's newest and greatest
superhero, Plastic Man. He can spring, he can stretch, he can fly, he can bounce, he can change his shape. And he can even dance.
Oh man, I was hoping it was like the comedy adventure hour. Like Plastic Man had a variety show.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these were variety shows, kind of like what the Looney Tunes, like they always had variety shows, or like
when
Scooby-Doo.
you think, that's what you think when you say variety show. I think Carol Burnett.
Oh, no. This is nothing like the
live action.
And when it goes
Gone
to a
with
cartoon.
the Wind curtains.
No, nothing like that. The show was produced by Ruby Spears Production. In the show, Plastic Man had a new sidekick. This was a bumbling Hawaiian government agent known as Hula Hula.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Plas. Me and my bad luck.
Patrick had his own girlfriend, Penny, and his kid, Baby Plas.
I don't like that.
Yeah, Plas. The series had run for 2 years and went into syndication. When the show re-aired, a live-action segment was added where a live-action Plastic Man, which was portrayed by Mark Craig Taylor, would introduce and provide segues in the show.
I'm Plastic Man. Welcome to the show. For those of you who don't know, this is my show. I am a superhero and quite possibly the best superhero there is. Right, Chief?
Frankly, no.
The voice of Plastic Man for the cartoon, that was provided by Michael Bell. You can actually look up the live action
I'm doing it.
Plastic Man from 1980?
Oh my
1980s?
God.
Yeah, it's wacky and weird. And they had like very early, like, it's not CGI.
I'm
but like,
so excited to get to like the movie bit of this because every time I Google something, like fan castings are popping up and I like don't want to talk about it yet because we're not there.
No.
But I am excited.
Yes. Now, back at DC Comics, they went through a major shift in 1985. This is something that I mentioned before with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and our Catwoman episode. Do you remember what happened with DC Comics in 1985? Big old crisis.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It's called Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I thought you meant the company, not the...
I mean, it was kind of both. So, long story short, DC had to do like a big reset, essentially. And they figured out a storyline in which they took all of the different Earths, all of the different multiverses, and they were just like, we have to like restart everything. We're going to hone it all in and just like, we're going to create this guy who like eats Earths, eats different planets and whatnot, and he just like poops out one Earth and be like, that's the one that everyone is going to start on. We're going to have Earth 1 and that's it. That's all. So whatever storyline was happening in the 80s was just all reset. Didn't matter if you're in the middle of a story. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. So now everyone lives on Earth 1. Plastic Man is then reintroduced in November 1988 in Plastic Man Volume 3 with a 4-issue run, which was written by Phil Foglio. As for the origin story, it's actually the same origin that they took from Quality Comics. In fact, the panels of the original Police comics were then recreated down to even what they said, and actually have this here so you can actually see the comics right here. So the top one here, that is Quality Comics, so you can see like that's the gang. They're going down the stairs, he gets shot and they get away. Same thing is here, the gang's together, they're going down the stairs.
Yeah, they even put the like tiny little stairs in the corner of the
yeah, so like he's even saying the same thing.
And his like profile is very similar.
It's just a little darker, a little more well drawn, but like essentially they're like,
it's updated.
Yeah, but
now in 4K.
But they looked at it and they were like, the origin story is great. Like, why fix that? We're just gonna redo that and just like go from there.
Especially if you were crunch and munching and making everything go back to one. Like, why wouldn't you take the best pieces of the original?
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Yet again, Plastic Man would make his sporadic appearances in other comics. He's shown in a picture of All-Star Squadron, issue number 60, which was in August 1986. He's in a flashback scene in Infinity Inc., issue number 39, which came out in June of 1987, and as a cameo of the Freedom Fighters in the Young All-Stars, issue number 97 in July 1989. In 1994, DC hit the reset button again with 0 Hour Crisis in Time, essentially the same thing. And in this, Plastic Man is a hero from around the World War II era and is still fighting in the modern day. Because of his powers, it makes him unique and kind of makes him immortal.
Right.
Yeah. He would make a lot more small appearances until 1998 when Grant Morrison, he introduced Plastic Man as a prominent member of the JLA, or the Justice League of America, in Rock of Ages. Now from there, yeah.
With Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Okay.
From there on, Plastic Man would become more popular. He became a more consistent member in the Justice League. And this is where I'm going to discontinue the history of Plastic Man, because this is kind of...
Because we're in 1994 now?
Because we're in the 1990s right now.
We existed.
And this is...
We exist.
Yeah. And this is essentially like all the knowledge that's out there that would have been available to make the movie.
Got it.
But before we dive into that movie, we're going to dive into these advertisements. And we're back. Brought to you by
Bluey.
Bluey. We're diving into Plastic Man becoming a movie in the early 90s. In 1992, Variety, they did an interview with Steven Spielberg, in which he talked mostly about the production of Jurassic Park, but Spielberg revealed that his production company, Amblin, was working with...
Wham, blam, black bang.
But they were working with Warner Brothers in creating a Plastic Man film with Brian Spicer. Brian Spicer, he has written a few things, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, For Richer or Poorer. There's a lot of other... He also wrote a lot of TV shows, including one episode of Once Upon a Time. Yeah.
Which one?
Season 1, episode 11, Fruit of the Poisonous Tree.
Okay.
It was in season 1, which is one of the best seasons of Once Upon a Time, so.
Not one of, it is the definitive best season of Once Upon a Time. But I was like, because I've watched season 1 a lot, and like I know that like what certain episodes are, so I was trying to like guess, and I was like, oh, my power.
But this would have been his directorial debut for a feature film. Now, to write the film was the Wachowskis, then known at the time as...
Oh, they were just writing? They weren't directing?
Mm-hmm, they were just writing. So then at the time, they were known as Larry and Andy. Now they are known as Lana and Lily. The script was leaked, and their draft was submitted in 1995. Now, this is well before The Matrix. And really, the only thing that they were known for was writing a Richard Donner film, which was Assassins, which starred Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas.
Their career is fascinating to me because, so when was Bound? Bound is 96?
96, yes.
So like, this is 95. They've done the one movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's the mid 90s. Superhero movies aren't what they were a couple years ago. But like, that's still a big like power punch movie. And then they do Bound, which is offbeat and quirky, but still like boundary pushing.
Yeah.
And then they go to Matrix. Like how?
All because of really one producer, which was Joel Silver, which we'll get into later.
Got it.
Yeah. So.
I needed that answer.
Yeah. I do want to jump ahead just a little bit in chronological order, just to help you like visualize like who would portray Plastic Man. Now, there were some rumors.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, there were some rumors, that Jim Carrey.
Oh, like, really? I was making a joke.
No, like, I mean, you saw him in The Mask.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of envisioned him as like being that.
Ace
and
Ventura.
Like, yeah, and if you're thinking that Plastic Man is supposed to be like a humorous character or something like that, Jim Carrey fits the bill perfectly.
Well, and like the way he can mold his body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and The Mask, like that was a comic book. That was a comic book movie.
That is brand new information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it started off as comic book first. It's a very darker comic book, but yes.
There's your remake.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like if he could do that, there's like, this is perfect for it. Another character who's had his face.
Anytime I think of Ace Ventura, I always think of the sliding glass door opening and closing without fail. And I can't not talk about it without it like appearing in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was another actor who's also had his face elongated in a movie. And that
Dan Aykroyd?
No, it was Bruce Campbell, at the time known as Ash in Evil Dead and The Army of Darkness.
Yeah, but he has his face elongated in Sam Raimi's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are those two different movies? No.
It's the same character.
Yeah. When does he have his face?
Army of Darkness.
I need to rewatch Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
But that's like a moment. That's not a whole thing.
That's not a whole thing, but it like happens. Like that's makeup.
Yeah.
That they put on his face. Yeah.
But also like you can't compare. Like Jim Carrey, I feel like is in a league of his own when it comes to body morphing.
Yeah.
So glad he's using it for Sonic now. But like.
And you'll hear in the story like that they kind of had him more in mind than Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, like he.
Wait, they had Bruce Campbell more in mind?
Or yeah, they had Bruce Campbell more so in mind than Jim Carrey.
Wild.
I think Jim Carrey just was like, he was such a high ask at that point. Like he had just done.
Yeah, we're in the height of his career, basically.
Yeah, I think in the span of 94, it was The Mask,
Ace Ventura,
and Dumb and Dumber.
And
Like
then
all in the
wins
same.
Batman.
That's 96, but like.
Yeah,
he's in high demand. And like for those 3 movies to come out in the same year, like Jim Carrey is like the top actor at this time.
Throw in The Majestic.
Yeah. But to think like, oh, maybe he might be too much, but like Bruce Campbell seems more obtainable and he's still relevant. Where I'm going to go out of order here is everyone thinks because this is Wachowskis, obviously they're going to choose Keanu Reeves.
Whoa. But this is pre-Matrix.
No.
Right?
This is why I'm going out of order here. Because,
well, now I'm confused.
So the reason why I bring him up is because this was after 2008. The Wachowskis had established themselves with the Matrix trilogy, and they had done...
Oh, so, okay, hang on. Rewind. So in 94, 95, they wrote the script.
They wrote the script with Jim Carrey or Bruce Campbell in mind.
With Jason Splicer, what's his name? James Splicer? Directing?
Yes.
So if we fast forward to 2008, are they intended to direct or we still keep... Okay, great,
so
great. Now I'm on board.
So in 2008, this is right after the Matrix trilogy, they had done Speed Racer. And
now I understand that Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to revisit the script again. Or at least the rumors of it was going to happen. And they're like, well, obviously, if they're going to do this, they're going to choose their main boy, Keanu Reeves, to be Plastic Man.
I could take Keanu Reeves in some short shorts.
Yeah.
I don't think he's right for that, but
I don't think so either. But I wanted to put it in there just ahead of time so that you can kind of like put in your head like, oh, who can I imagine in this role? And you can kind of like replace which one you want to do. Like, can it be Jim Carrey? Can it be Bruce Campbell? Can it be Keanu Reeves? And just kind of, but like them in different eras. So like,
is that the one that we're going to be talking? Like that story is what we're going to be talking about is the 2008 version?
We are talking about the 1995 version because there was no revision of it.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, before we get into this movie, we are going to get into these advertisements. We're getting into the movie.
To the moving pictures.
This is Plastic Man, written by the Wachowskis. It was submitted on March 17th, 1995. We open in a lab, seen from the perspective of a lab mouse. This mouse is in a cage with several other mice, and a beautiful woman in a white lab coat enters and opens the cage. Inside, the mice cower and position themselves into the corner of the cage. The scientist picks up the mouse that we've been following. She flips the mouse and uses an enormous hypodermic needle to inject a sapphire blue fluid. The mouse is then put into a tank, which is filled with a milky fluid. The mouse is nauseous and gets blurred vision. After the tank is drained, the mouse is picked up and slips through the woman's fingers. The mouse hits the ground and bounces. The mouse zips around the floor, evading the capture of the scientist and her assistant, and the mouse slips into a drain, tumbling down the rabbit hole. And it's completely dark.
The hell?
So the mouse gets injected with
Plastic
serum.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, and gets all bouncy and rubbery
This is
and
not
whatnot.
the origin story
and goes down the hole. But I do want to emphasize, because they did write this in the script, that the mouse goes down the rabbit hole. Because you watched The Matrix
recently. Isn't that
recently.
the whole point of The Matrix?
Mm-hmm, to go down the rabbit hole, just like Alice.
I watched The Matrix for the first time recently.
That is astonishing that you have not seen The Matrix before until the year of our Lord 2025.
Also, it was really hard to get me to see The Matrix.
I don't understand. This is like a staple of the film industry.
Honestly, it was kind of refreshing to watch on my own. The VFX really hold up in a way that I was surprised.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It really changed the trajectory of the use of special effects in movies.
I feel like I need to watch it like 6 times to fully understand it because I'm still real confused, but like it was something.
Yeah. Off screen, we hear a man sneeze. He's in a dime store and we see a man step out of a photo booth. He's speaking to himself, trying to find the right words before he talks to Dr. Susan Bright as he grabs his photo strip. We see multiple photos of his face, resembling a comic strip, with the last photo of him sneezing. We cut to the exterior of an upscale brownstone apartment. This is Susan's home.
Are we still in the mouse's perspective?
No, we are not. Yeah. So we followed the mouse
down the rabbit hole.
And then he emerges to get to the dime store.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. This is Susan's apartment. When she opens the door, we see it's the same scientist from the first scene.
Oh.
She's juggling her belongings as she gets into her car, and we hear a man's voice. Hello, Susan. This is Daniel Eel O'Brien. They changed the name.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah. This is really weird because I went through this whole script as the main character, Daniel. So it's going to be like me talking in third person. Yep. It's a weird feeling. I'm going to try and get over that. The description of him is that he is a black leather activist. We cannot tell if he is dangerous or if he just looks dangerous. Through this conversation, we learn that these two used to be together, and she's not looking to get back together. Daniel has been in prison for the last 6 months. He tells her that he's been following her work, reading every article about her and her polymerization experiments and the nanotechnology. And he's noticed that she hasn't published anything lately. She's flattered about his attentiveness.
It's all women want.
Yeah.
We just want you to pay attention.
Yeah. But she ends the conversation because she needs to go to work, just like women do.
I lost the mouse. I gotta go.
Yeah. And Susan takes off in her car, leaves Daniel behind. We get an establishing shot of Calumet City, which is a fictional city made up for the movie.
I was like, I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it is an industrial wasteland, towering smokestacks and warehouses of corrugated steel, factories and chemical plants built around a small lake that shimmers of an oily, iridescent sheen, while its shores turn into a frothy green bile. So it's just like a very toxic city.
No, thank you.
In the center of it all is Argonne Laboratories and Argonne Tower. Inside the Argonne Tower, we follow Mrs. Poppy walking down the hallway. Quote, she is a stunning woman of cosmetic perfection and a body that might have been surgically cut from a comic book. She designs her own dresses made from argon rubber, or PVC, usually red to match her collection, and high-heeled shoes and boots. If you remember the lady dressed in red in The Matrix. Kind of something along the lines of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or like Jennifer Tilly in Bound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of their style to have like a woman made
perfectly cut out in leather. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And even in The Matrix, there's a lot of like leather. So if you think about Trinity as well.
That is clearly a theme.
Yep. Which is why I had to watch those movies. To be like, not for that moment specifically, but you're
just
like,
for the leather.
But there are just like some moments in there where you're
I'm
like,
glad I watched both those movies. I think it really gives me a perspective of their directing.
Yeah, yeah. She's searching for her husband, Icarus Argon. I know. I heard the name and I was like, you are not being subtle about this metaphor.
I am a villain.
Yeah.
I've flown too close to the sun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In his office, we see his face on the cover of People magazine as the sexiest man alive and Time as the man of the year.
He's no Jonathan Bailey.
There's also a 1989 Mr. Universe trophy. When we see present-day Icarus, he's wheelchair-bound and described as, quote, an unwrapped mummy. Brown flesh drapes over stringy cords of muscles like a wet paper bag. His eyes, hard white marbles lined with red cracks. So he's like definitely been decrepit over the years. Like
in my head, when I was reading all that, I was picturing Arnold Schwarzenegger because of like the time. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as that description started, I was like, I'm so wrong.
You know, he was in a very, very bad spot in his life right now.
Is he living?
He's barely there. Poppy needs Icarus to sign off on some papers. Icarus is suspicious that Poppy is withholding a cure from him, but she assures him that she's not, and when they lost the first mouse, it was purely an accident.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Poppy gives Icarus his meds, she blows him a kiss, and she leaves. Outside the lab, Susan pulls up to the gate, and she can't find her security guard. She tells the guard, and he says that he'll just make another one for her later and just lets her in. We cut to the Admiral Hotel, where we find Daniel forging Susan's security card to look like his. He uses the photos from the photo booth to make his profile picture.
Ah, sneaky, sneaky.
We zoom out to reveal that Daniel is obsessed with the work that's being done at Argonne, and we see articles of their work plastered all over his
Charlie
wall.
Day.
Yeah, it's man. Pepe Sylvia. Yeah, it's the red string. There's a whole episode of Decoder Ring about the red string and how it was completely made up. It's fabricated. They don't use it in police investigations. Detectives don't use it. They don't use it in the FBI or the CIA. They ran out of air.
You did.
And that
You're
is
so passionate about this.
And they just completely made it up. They found like the turning point in which every movie and TV shows like have to do this, and it is A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. Like it is because of that movie that we have so many like red string boards in movies and TV shows. And it's just a shorthand for like they're either a genius who is about to figure it out or they're completely batshit insane. Yeah.
Charlie Day.
But this is way before A Beautiful Mind. So it's just like him plastering up all these things to be like, oh, I'm just going to research all of this stuff.
My brain wanted to say like Unsolved Mysteries because I could remember watching those terrifying episodes and seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it existed before A Beautiful Mind, but A Beautiful Mind is the moment.
It's like exploded from there. Yeah. So back in the lab. We find Susan and her assistant, Dr. Nigel Niebelman.
Sorry.
Yeah. Dr. Nigel Niebelman.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nigel is thinking of a plan to capture the escaped mouse, but Susan is not paying attention.
That mouse is gone.
Yeah. She is distracted thinking about Daniel. We cut to a flashback of Daniel on the street. A businessman tosses a styrofoam cup on the ground. Daniel picks it up and confronts the litter bug. I mention that because like he keeps on calling this guy litter bug like it's a slur. Many, many times. It's kind of uncomfortable how many times he says it, but yes, keeps on doing it. After nagging the guy for a while, the litter bug beats the shit out of Daniel. We cut back to the lab, and Susan is telling a story to Nigel about how Daniel, about 5 years ago, he was at Pernal Labs. He released all of the monkeys that were being tested on.
I'm so confused, like where they pulled all this from.
I am not sure. The character is definitely shifted. He's not a criminal. He is a activist.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
And I get it, but
it's so
where'd the poison go?
Yeah, it's so far from the source material. Outside of the facility, we see Daniel drive past security with his counterfeit badge. Inside, Susan goes to see Sim, who's the head of security. She warns him that Daniel O'Brien might have stolen her badge. Sim suspects that if he did, he might have already used it, and he's in the building right now. We cut to Daniel using the badge to get into the lab. He puts on a lab coat, sunglasses, and a fake mustache to disguise himself. Susan comes back to the lab. She spots Daniel, but she's not entirely sure that it's him.
Because of his mustache.
Because of the mustache. Before she can investigate, Niebelman informs her that Poppy would like to speak to her. Poppy asks if the second nanobot would be ready soon for human experimentation. Susan tries to explain that it's not ready yet, and there could be major consequences. The reason is that they don't know how to deal with the waste that the nanobots are creating.
Ruh-roh.
Poppy pushes for the experiment to be ready, and Susan threatens her, telling her that she could expose what they are doing to the EPA and the press.
Does Daniel overhear this?
He does not.
No.
Yeah.
He's twirling his mustache.
Yeah, the mustache. Day turns to night. In a storage room, we see a barrel labeled explosive materials. Contains trinotrotoluene. I'm pretty sure that's made up for this story. I don't know what that is. That might be an actual element, and I may have pronounced it very wrong.
Trinotriptyline?
Trinitrotoluene.
Nope, you're saying.
Not gonna get it.
Okay.
Anyway. But the lid pops open, and Daniel crawls out. He sneaks through the building and back into the lab.
This movie is... I like... to go from Bound and Matrix to this, like I see all of the connections, but this is also like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. So he finds the mice, calls them POWs, and he lets them free. In the security room, Sims and another officer, Dobby, sees... Yeah?
Dobby is a free elf.
It is exactly how it's pronounced, Dobby, yes. It is...
Dobby got a sock.
They see movement in the monitors and leave to investigate. Daniel locates the nanobot containment system. He uses graphite dust on
What else are nanobites in? Nanobites are in a lot, right?
Nanobots. Daniel locates the nanobot containment system. Nanobots are just like little...
Are those the things from Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like anything that's like a small robot.
Cool. That's what I thought. I've been sitting here being like, Big Hero 6. And I was like, just ask.
Yeah. And we kind of see nanobots in the Matrix as well. Using graphite dust on the keypad, he figures out the PIN number and he opens it. In it is a glass tube filled with a sapphire blue liquid. The guards open the door. Daniel bolts and runs into Dobby's chest. Dobby fist hammers on top of Daniel's head and knocks him out.
With the test tube?
No, he just like, Dobby is just like Lenny and it's just like, boom. Just a big old lunk. We fade into the point of view shot from Daniel where we see Poppy, Icarus, and Sims. Daniel is trapped on a table. We get a better look at Icarus, who's described as cracked, lipless smile revealing ulcerous gums and stained teeth. Icarus holds Daniel's face with one hand and a hypodermic needle in the other. He tells him, quote, "For every environmentalist, anti-industrialist, animal activist that has shoved their myopic, pretentious cause of the mouth crap down my throat, I shove this down yours." And Icarus sticks the needle into Daniel's neck. We zoom in.
Dart in your neck.
We zoom inside the needle and into the liquid, and we follow a nanobot as it gets injected into Daniel's bloodstream.
That's straight up Matrix.
The nanobot looks like a snowflake, and it starts to infect multiple protein cells. We fade into a flashback of Daniel and Susan in a grocery store. It's implied that they're together. She's telling him about the nanobots, how they're the future, and he warns her about how corporations are going to use it to abuse tech, and they have nefarious reasons behind it. He goes on a rant about processed foods and spots a kid who's trying to get Trix cereal, and Daniel goes and pushes the cereal box further back on the shelf so the kid can't reach it anymore.
But they're for kids.
Yeah, it causes a scene. He tries to give him shredded Wheaties instead. It's a mess, yeah.
I don't think that would have made it through clearance. Trix would have been like, no, we're specifically for the babies.
Yeah, we fade back to Daniel in the test tube tank, where we see him going through a transformation. The tank gets really hot and explodes. Daniel's point of view is very like blurry and kind of wobbly, because if you think like his eyeballs now are just like, they're not solid anymore.
I don't like it.
The flesh on his face seems to sag. They grab him and they pull out his arms like they're spaghetti. Daniel stands up, but he's standing on a floor drain and actually slips into it. Icarus orders the guards to get them. Quote, "Behind them, the tank core continues to melt down. Gelatinous waste is splattering the room. Daniel emerges from out of the storm drain like toothpaste. His body begins to assemble itself in its normal proportions, and he stands up. He's naked, confused, and he walks away. His body seems to be expelling some kind of waste, like we mentioned earlier, but it's not clear where it's from, and Daniel heads back to the Admiral Hotel. So now he's become the Plastic Man.
The Plastic Man. That's a lot of imagery, and you're going to have so much fun picking the sound effects for that.
Yeah, and I keep thinking, like, this is 95? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you do something like that? This is back in the day where it isn't at that point where they're like, oh, CGI can do everything, because that's around like the late 90s. This is around the time where it's just like, we have to make as many practical things as possible.
Let's be clear, CGI still can't do everything. Okay, so think this is written in 95. Mm-hmm. Like, we let things take longer back then. This movie wasn't coming out before 97, 98 at best.
I would imagine that it would have looked something similar to The Mask.
Yeah.
Like, you have that mix of CGI from like ILM that they're creating, but there was so much practical that they had to do as well. So like, I imagine like when his face is sagging, like they would have to made some sort of prosthetic on him to make it look like that.
Well, I mean, they hired the people from Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. You do that. We're going to find out in part 2 what happens to Daniel O'Brien. What does he do with his newfound powers?
Ooh.
Does Icarus get his comeuppance for what he did to Daniel?
We'll find out.
We will find out next week. In the exciting conclusion of
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man.
Part 2, Matrix Boogaloo.
And now for our favorite part of this week and every week. What is your recommendations?
Hacks.
What
Not even going to wait for you to finish.
What are you watching? What do you want other people to watch? What are you judging people about not watching?
Hacks. I've mentioned it a couple times this season. It now has 24 Emmy nominations. It has beat out Schitt's Creek for most Emmy nominations. So go be a big, brave girl and watch Hacks. And if you don't know what that means, you haven't watched Hacks yet.
Mm-hmm. I remember you showing me that drone shot and how they did it. And basically how they did it was like a dude grabbed the drone and kept the shot going.
Yes, I believe their DP is Adam Bricker. I just started following him on Instagram because I think the cinematography is so beautiful. It's genius in the way that some things are shot for social media and fit in that like sort of vertical spectrum. I don't even know that he's doing it intentionally, where it's the perfect kind of framing that I think is intelligent, where yes, you could frame it for vertical and you get the main cast in there and sure. But if you look at the entire frame on your television set, it tells a story and a complete painting that you could never get by just looking at that like vertical chunk. And so to me, that is sort of a genius of cinematography that we're not talking about yet. I get it. We're hating on the fact that you don't have perfect ratios and all of these things that we have on like a big screen. But I do think there are ways to be smart about it and make both of them like hold hands and tell a story together. And I think he does it perfectly. There are 2 shots in season 4, and there are 2 characters that mirror each other. One person's at a big table and the other person is at bar tables, but if you look at them, the actual curve and everything is pointing to their chest. It's like their heart is the horizon line. It's beautiful.
Nice.
So, Hacks.
Well, if we're talking Emmy noms, superheroes, I would like to recommend Spider-Noir. It's got your boy, Lamorne Morris. He is fantastic.
Yes.
And if you really want to lean into him being colorblind, watching the show...
I did not think about that.
In black and white, I will say, is stunning. It is a show that knew that it was going to be in black and white. They shot it to be black and white. It really does lean into the noir.
Yeah.
It does feel like this is Nicolas Cage like really burrowing into like cinema history, into his James Cagney, into his Humphrey Bogarts, just pulling from all of old Hollywood, like all of the gangster films, all of the detective films. It feels like he's really just wanting to just live in that moment.
I have watched the pilot and the second episode of it. It is, to me, exactly what I thought it would be. Ironically enough, for a woman that loves old Hollywood and noir and that kind of thing, was not like enticed to watch the show. I actually watched it because my VFX friends worked on it. Mm-hmm. This is my favorite role of his.
It's one of his better roles.
Makes the most sense.
And it's his opportunity to like pay homage to a lot of the films that he loves, or like the films that he grew up watching. So you can definitely tell that he's tapping into it, because he does that a lot. Like,
he is a character actor at the end of the day. Like, he wants to play a big character.
Yeah. And this is his opportunity to do so. And then on top of that, Lamorne Morris.
I want more of him.
He does a lot more in the show.
But just in general, I'm saying, like, I want him to be a leading man in everything.
I know in the pilot episodes, or even like the first few episodes, because they're still setting up like the whole world, the characters and whatnot, he leans into a more leading role, especially in like the third or fourth episode, I believe, where like you see him being a reporter, you see him being a journalist, and you see him being a photojournalist as well. And like he really takes the lead in that. He also does an impression of Nicolas Cage.
Oh my God.
Pretty funny. And he does it like to mock Nicolas Cage, or at least his character in the show. And it's pretty great.
That's a delight.
And if you do watch Spider-Noir, watch it in black and white. I know why they offer the color, just because a lot of people are just kind of turned off by black and white just in general.
You know, I know that we're seeing a lot of trailers and things lately that look a little logged and grayscaled. And the color of Spider-Noir, it feels like that Panavision 60s.
The Technicolor.
Technicolor, thank you. That's what it is.
Yeah, I will say that when they do bring in the color, it feels like they cranked up the saturation in a good way.
I've been thinking a lot about saturation lately. I feel like we blanket statement saturation in so many ways, but Technicolor almost is its own LUT. Like, it almost has its own color spectrum that, like, yes, it's spectrum, but it's also specific vivids. Mm-hmm. They have collectively defined an era, and so I think in our heads feel like an art piece. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, sometimes it's just like, oh, I'll just crank up the saturation to fix something, and it's like, no, like, you still have to create like a color panel. You still have to like create your own unique artistic color for this thing. Yeah. And they do.
It looks really good. The color looks really good, but like I said, it was shot for black and white first, and it looks good in black and white. And you can find us on many social media platforms. We are on Instagram and TikTok at Development Purgatory. Blue Sky is at Dev Purgatory, because they wouldn't allow us to put our entire full name on there. You can find us on Patreon, Development Purgatory. There, for $5 a month, you can get ad-free episodes and the full recording of our episodes as well. Also, something that I have kept forgetting to mention, we have a new email. Because we have a new name. We do have a new email.
That's fair.
We still get emails for notgetmade@gmail.com. You can still use that one, but we have a new one that we will also be checking. It is developmentpurgatory@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go out, see a movie.
Watch a show.
Don't stretch yourself too thin.
Plastic Man here reminding you that the next time you lend somebody a helping hand, be sure you get it back. So long.